His journey with a speech entitled Church Going by Philip Larkin and a Portland intro. Please welcome Douglas Pigg.
On Toastmasters, guess, Jill? The two poems I've chosen to say something about looks as all as individuals we're simply near here nor there. Never simply one fixed thing. We all carry with us an ever-changing sense of self as we journey through the world, as we just had demonstrated by Ali there. As has been said, the first poem is postscript, and Seamus Heaney describes how a natural landscape can evoke feelings that are overwhelming within us with its beauty, and it can often leave us just speechless, just in awe. You've seen the aura, awe of the aura. Finding words for these uplifting moments can be difficult. You're no longer absorbed in your self-preoccupation as your mind is drawn out into something large and wonderful. So here's the poem. And sometime make the time to drive out west onto Portland along the Chesil shore. In September or October, when the wind and the light are working off each other, so that the ocean on one side is wild with foam and glitter, and inland among the stones, the surface of a Jurassic world is lit by earth lightning of a flock of gulls, their feathers roughened and ruffling, grey on white, their fully grown, headstrong looking heads, tucked or cresting, busy underwater, unless to think you'll park or capture it. More thoroughly, you're neither here nor there. A hurry through which known and strange things pass, as big, soft buffetings come sideways at the car and catch the heart off guard and blow it open. As Portland as I arrive from our travels and wonder why I ever left. The second poem is called Church Going by Philip Larkin. It's a very famous poem, in which he tries to explain why he can't stop visiting churches. On the one hand, he's not religious. On the other hand, he can't really picture a world where there isn't religion, where it doesn't exist, although he does try. So this dilemma between faith and skepticism troubles many people. The poem's in two parts. First of all, Larkin describes, in a rather, not a very nice way in a sense, his visit to the church. He looks around and on leaving reflects that the place was not worth stopping for, yet stop I did. In the second part of the poem, Larkin wonders why he stopped. He also muses on what will happen to the world when religion is gone altogether. Finally, Larkin admits that he's pleased by the church because it's a serious place for serious business. Humanity, he concludes, will always be asking the big questions. Why are we here? Where do we go when we die? And for this reason, the kind of urge that created religion in the first place will never go away. And these things are explored in the poem. Church Going by Philip Larkin. Once I'm sure there's nothing going on, I step inside, letting the door thud shut. Another church, matting, seats and stone and little books, sprawlings of flowers cut for Sunday, brownish now, some brass and stuff up at the holy end, the small neat organ, and a tense, unignorable silence, brewed God knows how long. Hatless, I take off my cycle clips, in awkward reverence. Move forward, run my hand around the font. From where I stand, the roof looks almost new. Cleaned or restored? Someone would know, I don't. Mounting the lectern, I peruse a few hectoring large-scale verses and pronounce, "Here endeth," much more loudly than I meant. The echoes snigger briefly. Back at the door, I sign the book. Donate an Irish sixpence. Reflect, the place was not worth stopping for. Yet stop I did. In fact, I often do. And always end much of the loss like this, wondering what to look for. Wondering too, when churches will fall completely out of use. What shall we turn them into? If we shall keep a few cathedrals chronically on show, their parchment, plate and pyx in locked cases, and let the rest rent-free to rain and sheep. Shall we avoid them as unlucky places? Or, after dark, will dubious women come to make their children touch a particular stone, pick simples for a cancer, or on some advised night see walking a dead one? Power of some sort will go on in games, in riddles, seemingly at random. But superstition, like belief, must die. And what remains when disbelief is gone? Grass, weedy pavement, brambles, buttress, sky. A shape less recognizable each week, a purpose more obscure. I wonder who will be the last, the very last, to seek this place for what it was. One of the crew, their tap and jot, and know what rude lofts were? Some ruin bidder, randy for antique? Or Christmas addict, counting on a whiff of gown and bands and organ pipes and myrrh? Or will he be my representative? Bored, uninformed, knowing the ghostly silt dispersed, yet tending to this cross of ground through suburb scrub because it held unspilt so long and equably what since is found only in separation, marriage and birth, and death, and thoughts of these for which was built this special shell. For though I've no idea what this accoutred frowsty barn is worth, it pleases me to stand in silence here. A serious house on serious earth it is, in whose blent air our compulsions meet, are recognized and robed as destinies. And that much never can be obsolete, since someone will forever be surprising a hunger in himself to be more serious, and gravitating with it to this ground which he once heard was proper to grow wise in, if only that so many dead lie round.